Oh, hey, how's it going? Do you ever feel a little bit like Frankenstein's monster? Like all of a sudden you're in this weird world and you're not sure why everyone's looking at you funny. Yeah. And then when you're a teenager, you're like, I'll give you something to look at. Been there. You know what? A lot of people have been telling me I look like Jeffrey Dahmer lately, so I think today we're doing this without the glasses. Is that better? Is it? You think I can do this? Okay. Let's do it. Whoa!
I know that I dress like a serial killer, but trust me, I'm a little bit goth on the inside. I went through some phases as a teenager, some of which I'd rather not talk about, but believe it or not, I used to have long hair and wore mostly band shirts before I put on my first plaid flannel shirt and became the super normal guy that I am today.
Mama!
Back then, I thought I was rebelling against something, and in a way I was, I guess, but I'm not so sure that I would have been into Metallica and Pantera back then if I hadn't hung out with people who were into those bands. I wasn't trying to dress like the popular kids, and I didn't listen to whatever was on the radio because I didn't want to fit in with the cool kids. I hated the cool kids. But I was adopting an identity. Instead of just being a weird kid who doesn't fit in, I was something. Something that people could put their finger on, and that's kind of comforting.
People could point at me and say, hey look, it's one of those heavy metal guys. Probably worships Satan or something like that. And I liked it. Maybe they didn't actually say that, but you know what I mean.
Humans love to put labels on things, even on ourselves. It makes it easier to understand what we are, or what we think we are. But none of my friends were into horror the way I was. And when I went to school with a Texas Chainsaw Massacre t-shirt, I didn't do it to fit in with any crowd. If you used to put pins with Jack Skellington on your backpack in school, maybe you did it to fit in with your cool edgy friends, sure, but maybe, if you're anything like me, you did it because all that dark imagery, gothic castles, tombstones, scary ladies in Victorian morning dresses, you always felt a connection to all that stuff. And it goes deeper than just being in love with the aesthetic of horror. It's as if you belong in that world. You don't fit in here. You feel like you were supposed to live in Halloween Town, with the occasional trip to Christmas Town, of course, but instead you were born into a world where people spend most of their energy worrying about stuff they have no control over, when they could be getting excited that Robert Eggers is making Nosferatu. And what's wrong with people? Haven't they heard?
Dr. Mjölkman. Did you know that Robert Eggers is remaking Nosferatu?
Pratar svenska, det är ingen som förstår vad du säger när du håller på sådär.
Nu vill jag faktiskt inte prata med dig. Du ska dricka mjölk.
Adjö, Mr. Winger.
Gott med mjölk.
A lot of people look at you funny when you tell them that you love horror. They seem to think that you like it because you enjoy watching people get murdered or something like that. They don't understand it. Show them your monster and you'll get the pitchfork. And maybe I'm coming off as bitter, but you know what? I don't mind not fitting in. There's something empowering about being a part of what people are afraid of. People fear what they don't understand, but it's also the things that we don't understand that intrigue us the most. You may never be understood by everyone, but you'll never be boring either. When we grow up, we're always told to act a certain way and all that, but if there's one thing I've learned since I started this YouTube channel is that there are tons of people out there who love that you're weird. I mean, do you think Salvador Dali or Stephen King made it big because they try to be normal? The world needs its weirdos, just like it needs its dentists or truck drivers or farmers. People need weirdos like us to fill the world with beauty and darkness and weird new ideas. You may be bullied all the way through school and told by everyone that you'll never amount to anything, but one day those same bullies might be singing along to your song on the radio.
Because even if they won't admit it, they love us. They do. If you took one pitchfork-wielding maniac out of an angry mob and just sat down with him and had a beer, bet you'd get along just fine. You know? In fact, they're just trying to survive.
You had to fit in your tribe back in the day if you wanted to survive. And when you saw someone who looked different, your safest bet was probably to kill that person before they could invade your territory and steal your food. All that stuff is still programmed into our brains, so you can't really blame people for being the way they are. Wanting to fit in somewhere is only human. Now, thinking about stuff like this can kind of make you question your purpose in life sometimes. Like, what do I bring to the table? Am I even needed here? How can I just sit here and have fun creating art and enjoy myself while people across the world are starving and fighting? Well, don't worry. Find a tree. Just find a tree somewhere. Now stop for a little while and just look at the branches. Isn't it nice? Doesn't it feel like that tree is right where it's supposed to be? Maybe it grew from a seed that fell from another tree. Or maybe someone planted it there. Doesn't really seem to make a difference to the tree. It's playing its part in the ecosystem, sure, but the world wouldn't end if you cut it down. And even if the world did end, and everything we knew would be forgotten forever, the tree wouldn't care. It's just doing its thing, here and now. Not worrying about tomorrow or yesterday. Some trees keep growing for hundreds of years. Others become beautiful houses where people live, love, and die. Some trees become Christmas trees. Maybe you're a little bit like a Christmas tree. Do we really need Christmas trees? The human race wouldn't go extinct without them, but everyone loves them. Somewhere in our heads we have this idea that the world should be fair. A bear could sneak up on you and kill you while you're standing there looking at that tree. Would that be fair? It doesn't really matter. Trees don't think about whether or not the universe is fair. The universe just is. It's easy when we start seeing the big picture to think that if nothing really matters, everything is pointless. Does art have a meaning? It can, but sometimes you just do it because it feels right. And that's when you create the purest form of art. Everything doesn't have to make sense or have a point. Even if you've seen the big picture, you still have to enjoy the little things. If you're here right now and you have the chance to just be weird and do what you love, why not take it? Did you ever hear anyone talk crap about David Lynch? No, people love him. So next time someone looks at you funny for being weird, just picture yourself as a big, beautiful tree, gently swaying in the wind, and give them a big, warm smile.